You know I had to come in. Let's get this started. Fair use. Fair use copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing non-profit educational or personal use. Tilt the balance in favor of fair use. Now, you see what we're going to be talking about today. This is a Friday. This is a Wild West Friday. And today is December 13th. We're going to talk about the new Diddy lawsuits. Yes, Diddy has new lawsuits. And the motivation today is the quote that is, evil never sleeps. It never sleeps. And the person we're going to be talking about is this gentleman right here, Diddy. Now, I want to make sure, I got to give you guys a heads up. I apologize. My computer's been having some issues. I don't know if it's the mouse or what. So you're going to be seeing me sliding and doing all this with my hands because the mouse is, it's evil. Hello, Narendra. Thank you for coming in. Shout out to Narendra. India. Narendra says, hi, Politic. Hey. Yes, we're talking about Diddy today. I don't know how long this live is going to be. Hey, Art of War. Shout out to Art of War. Art of War says, good morning, news lady. Good morning. Narendra says, Diddy, my favorite. Whoa, Narendra. Hashtag no Diddy. Now, we have a lot going on. Now, I will say, you guys going to be seeing me doing all of this because there's something going on with my mouse. I have no idea, okay? Okay, there's something going on. I don't know if Diddy has something to do with this, with the mouse acting up. I'm literally going to be doing this all this live. So today we're going to discuss the Diddy new lawsuits. And we're just going to have a Diddy live. Yes, a Diddy live. Because if you guys can remember, it's only been, 4 or 5 days since there was a lawsuit, okay, that came about from Tony Busby. And now, hello, I am Jacob. Thank you for coming in. Right, we discussed about the last lawsuit that was refiled Sunday. It's Friday. It is Friday. I am Jacob says, blessings, Politic. Yes, blessings, Jacob. Thank you for coming in. Now, it was just, Sunday. And there's already new lawsuits. Right? And thank God. Thank you, God. Diddy is not in this lawsuit, okay? He's not in these lawsuits, okay? So, now as you can see, all of these gentlemen are hiding. They have filed their lawsuits under whom? John Doe. Hello, Joy. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for spreading the joy. Now, like I said, they have come in like the Wild West. Why? Because if you guys can remember, Sunday, there was a lawsuit that was refiled that not only put this gentleman in the mix, right? They also included, and yes, we're going to talk about it, unfortunately, okay? They also included this gentleman, okay? This gentleman, Jay-Z. But Jay-Z is not in these lawsuits that came about recently, okay? As in yesterday, as in coming up, okay? Jay-Z's not in this lawsuit, but I had to bring it up. Why? Because Jay-Z was mentioned, and what he was mentioned of in regards to a 13-year-old with Diddy, okay, Sunday, is some of the same similar things that was mentioned in regards to these, not one, not two, not three, but four. Yes, 4 anonymous men. Okay, they're all having the same similarities, similar patterns. Okay, now I want to, that's the reason I wanted to mention it, because it's kind of odd that they're bringing, they are bringing this up. But like we stated back what Jay-Z said Sunday, and the reason I want to make sure I state this with Jay-Z, because come to find out, he did admit that he was the anonymous person that filed a lawsuit against Tony Busby. He did say that he was the anonymous one. Okay, right? And I want to make sure we get a nice breakdown in regards to the lawsuit that was filed Sunday. Why? Because we're going to talk about the patterns. But first, let's break it down with the new lawsuits, okay? Let's break it down with the new lawsuits. And it's coming as if Diddy is having a pattern of how he gives off the energy that he has this aura about himself, that he's one way, he's nice at 1 minute, but then he's in one moment, he has a pattern of being Jekyll Hyde, as they would say. Why? Because don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to play some videos, but I gotta give it some time in the live, okay, for YouTube purposes. Now, according to the first accuser, okay, these three accusers, they said it happened between the year of 2019 to 2022, right? And these accusers are all identifying themselves as John Doe. And in addition to that, they are, as you can see, they are filing lawsuits. They have filed lawsuits under the defendants' names of Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings Incorporated, Bad Boy Entertainment LLC, Bad Boy Productions Holdings, Daddy's House Recordings, and last but not least, as you can see, and this is big trouble, Sony Music Holdings Incorporated. Yes, these are all the defendants that these accusers are filing the lawsuits against. And we're going to stroll. We got to stroll. When it comes down to accuser number one, it just says 13-year-old. That will be the Diddler new autobiography. And see, this is what I don't understand. Like, it is so much going on. It is so much going on. And I promise you guys, I'm going to have to roll this into tomorrow. Because, yes, there is a female. There's a female as well that is suing Diddy. It's a lot going on. I'm not going to give the little tidbits on that just yet. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But when it comes down to the first accuser, and excuse the typo, like I said, my mouse has been acting up, so now you're going to be seeing me doing this. No Diddy, but you're going to be seeing me moving my finger on the screen. With the first accuser, they said it happened in 2020, okay, in the summer in East Hamptons, okay, and they claimed that they unknowingly consumed something in a drink. These are all all of them are saying. I'm serious. They consumed something in a drink. And if you guys can remember, that is also the accusation that 13-year-old Jane Doe, who refiled her lawsuit against Diddy with Jay-Z Sunday, she said the same thing. She said the same thing. And it's seeming like there are similarities going on here when it comes down to putting something in somebody's drinks, okay? Now, that is accuser number one. Now, accuser number one said they unknowingly consumed something at a Hamptons party, an all-white party, okay? And that is when they could not, control themselves. And that is when, according to them, they said Diddy, as well as his associates, they did a fruit grape on him, okay? A fruit grape. These are YouTube purposes, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube purposes. The second accuser. Now, Richard says, yeah, Diddy episodes back-to-back win-win situation. No, retro. Now, when it comes down to the accuser number two, Accuser number 2 is also identifying themselves as John Doe. And in regards to their incident, they said their incident happened in 2019, also in New York. But at this time, the location was at Park Hyatt Hotel. And this was at an after party at a hotel now. Now, with this accuser, they claim they met Combs through a mutual friend. Okay, a mutual friend at the Marquee nightclub, also in 2019. And he says that Diddy invited him, okay, as well as 10 other people back to the Park Hyatt Hotel for an after party, which is also when he consumed something. He consumed something that caused him to lose himself, as they say. And he said when he woke up, okay, that is when Diddy also did a grape, okay, upon him. And he said while Diddy was doing a fruit grape, he said also a man and a woman recorded this. Now, why is this coming also into perspective? Because you guys also have to remember, in this federal court case that Diddy has, they also have videos, okay? They have video footage of Diddy, right? So the question is, when it comes down to these accusers that's coming out now on the civil lawsuit side, right? Who's to say and who's not to say that some of them or somebody's going to be on a video that in that trial next year, May the 5th, okay, when Diddy's federal trial starts? Who's to say? Now, when it comes down to the accuser number 2, like I stated, they woke up and that's when they witnessed Diddy was doing a fruit grape on them, and a man and a woman was watching this while all this was going on. And thank you guys for coming in. We're coming all the way in on this because this is just heavy. And they said while all this was going on, they said the following morning, John Doe number 2 woke up, and that's when Diddy was gone, but the unnamed man and the unnamed woman was still there. And John Doe number 2 said the man that was still there that following morning handed them $2,500, okay, on behalf of Diddy, who had already left the scene, as they say. Now, when it comes down to accuser number 3, John Doe number 3, their incident happened February 2020 at Intercontinental Times Square in New York. And I'm trying to understand why does Diddy do these things? I don't know, allegedly. But it seems like with this is also, a pattern. Diddy is doing these things at hotels. And if he's not doing it, quote unquote, at hotels, he's doing it everywhere but his homes. If you think about it, if you notice the similar patterns, he's doing it everywhere but his so-called homes, as far as these accusers are, these civil lawsuits. Now, with the third John Doe, okay, they said they worked for Combs, okay, and they have worked for Combs since 2006, according to this lawsuit. But they said their incident happened February of 2020. Angel says Trump may pardon P. Diddy. Oh, Angel, thank you for coming in. Now, people have also been speculating this, right? People have also been speculating, will Trump pardon Diddy? Right? People have been speculating this. However, the reason I'm kind of hesitant on that, because if you guys can remember, I don't know if you know this, Angel. I don't know if you know this, but Diddy, they have switched prosecutors, like a new person had came in. If you guys don't know, yes, there is a new person that came into the Diddy team, and they're on the prosecution side. Okay, and this particular person is the daughter. I have to mention it. Is the daughter to the former FBI director that Donald Trump fired the first term. Yes, you heard right, ladies and gentlemen. This is who they have on the Diddy, okay, Diddy trial. And she's on the prosecutor side. Yes. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. But like I stated, yes, I mean, I don't know in regards to Trump. Like I said, when it comes down to Trump, I don't know, because just like I stated, the person that is coming in, I was going to try to show it to you guys if I could find it. But like I stated, she is going to be on the prosecutor side, right? Now, when it comes down to the John Doe number 3, and we've already talked about these quote-unquote accusers, right? These quote-unquote accusers. But John Doe number 3, accuser number 3, they stated that their incident happened February 2022. And according to them, they met Combs, okay, off of money that Diddy owed them. And Diddy told them, okay, that, well, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you. Just just pull up at the Intercontinental Times Square. Just pull up. And instead of them giving them what was owed, instead of Diddy giving this John Doe money that was owed, okay, they didn't do that. Oh no. Instead, they went on ahead and put something in this accuser's, allegedly something was in their drink that made them, feel like they didn't understand what was going on. And that is when Diddy, quote unquote, did a fruit grape, okay? A fruit grape on them. And John Doe number 3 said they tried to ask them to stop. And Diddy, okay, according to this accuser, said, I'm almost done. Yes. So I'm just trying to understand, like, what is really going on with this, because it seems like a lot of people have been trying to see. And David, thank you so much for coming in. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because according to the accuser's attorney, okay, who's representing these people, right? These 3 accusers, he made a statement. And I want to make sure that this is known. And the lawyer that is talking about this is this gentleman. Okay? And this gentleman's name is Thomas Jafera. Now, Thomas Jafera, he's saying that this has to be known because all of the clients, all the 3 clients that he's representing pertaining to this, they are all men. Okay? And he wants this to be known, and he wants other men to be, he wants it to be known, to let other men know that you do have a voice and you do not have to just be in hiding. Okay? Be in hiding. Because according to what he stated, as well as the accusers that he represents, he says that they were all scared. They were scared. Why? Because Diddy showed himself as being very controlling and powerful, and he used that against them. Okay? So this is why we're talking about it, because there's not enough people talking about it. And hello, Solario. Thank you so much for coming in. And I'm going to show some clips. I'm just giving it a little time. Hello, Anastasia. I am very, very passionate about this because people have to know there are victims, and we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. And there's not enough people speaking on this, okay? Because I'm telling you guys right now, this gentleman right here, he's not the only one. He's not the only one. And I guarantee you, when May the 5th of 2025, when the trial begins, okay, you're going to see more people come out. You're going to see more people come out. And thank you so much for coming in. And the person that we're talking about these new quote unquote lawsuits. These new quote unquote lawsuits. It is a lot going on. Okay? A lot going on. And I think it's about that time. It's that 20 minute mark. Please hit that like button because I am going to play some clips. And thank you guys for coming in. Okay, because this is just ironic. 4 to 5 days ago, they mentioned Diddy with this gentleman. As you can see, Jay-Z. And Jay-Z released a statement. Okay, he had to release a statement stating that you are not going to put me in this Diddy mess. And because you have put me in this Diddy mess, now I'm going to file a lawsuit. And come to find out, that is what he did anonymously. I want people to understand that is what he did against Tony Busby anonymously. Okay, he ended up filing a lawsuit because now Jay-Z is in a lawsuit with Diddy, okay, with an accuser that was allegedly 13 years old when it happened to them, right? And what did Jay-Z do? I'm going to show you. First thing Jay-Z did, okay, he anonymously last month, he was the anonymous male celebrity that said that this was extortion, right? And how do we know that? Come to find out, Jay-Z admitted that this week in response to the refiling of the lawsuit that was filed Sunday, okay, in regards to allegedly Diddy as well as him participated in activities, I have to say it that way, in activities with, okay, an accuser, okay? And according to that particular lawsuit that we're speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, this lawsuit happened in 2000, right? And I want people to understand this. This is very odd. And I don't want people to, I'm glad that somebody is taking a stand in regards to the new lawsuits, right? In regards to these new lawsuits that include men, right? All of these are men that are stating that this gentleman right here, Diddy, not Jay-Z, Diddy only, Diddy by himself, because I don't have Beyonce money and I definitely don't have Jay-Z money. So I'm gonna put it down, okay, that these new lawsuits are against only Diddy, okay? I gotta put it out there like that. Because Jay-Z, as you can see what he did last month, okay, he has already started a lawsuit against one of these attorneys that are representing, okay, these accusers, and that's Tony Busby. Tony Busby already has stated, he's already done a press conference back in October stating that he's currently representing over 122 clients, okay? And out of the 122 clients, there have been, I think it's not all of them that has started an official civil lawsuit, but he's stating that they're getting that in the roles, okay, in the rounds. But he said on it that he's representing 122 clients. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference between the clients that Tony Busby is representing versus the clients that this gentleman is representing? This gentleman right here is representing, okay? This gentleman that you're looking at, his name is, and I quote, Thomas Jafora. He is the one that is representing, And I want to make sure I put that up there as well. He's the one that's quote unquote representing, and I'm going to put it to the side a little bit for you guys. He's the one that is representing the 3 quote unquote accusers in the current lawsuit. But with him, he has already put it out there. I repeat, I do not represent all these people. He said, I'm only currently represent 3 accusers. And he did say 60 people have already tried to approach him. Joy says, all opinions are welcome as long as expressed in a respectful manner. Thank you so much, Joy, and I'm going to pin that. Thank you so much. And this has to be, I want people to understand, right? We do not condone any form of violence. We do not condone any of this. And this is why I am speaking up on it, so people can actually be educated. We can educate ourselves on how to address matters such as this, right? And the reason I'm speaking on this is because this gentleman right here, Mr. Thomas Jafar, he actually basically said that the accusers that he's representing, I'm going to play a clip, and this is fair use. And thank you guys for coming in. Fair use, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, this is Mr. Thomas Jafar. He is the current attorney that is representing the 3 accusers, okay, that have recently filed a civil lawsuit against, Diddy, Sean Combs. And thank you guys for coming in.
For 3 lawsuits we filed. A lot of rich guys. Sean Combs is cheap, and he didn't pay what he was supposed to do for the services that he was getting. And when my client went to meet with him to try to get paid for the work he had done, he was drugged and raped and threatened. Of course, he never got paid.
Now, this particular gentleman, he has already stated, my apologies, he has already stated, quote unquote, hey, the Herbal Goddess, thank you for coming in. This particular gentleman that you're looking at, he is representing currently the 3 accusers, that are quote unquote suing Diddy, the new accusers, okay, right? Now I want to show another clip, okay? I want to show another clip in regards to this matter that we're speaking of. We're speaking about these 3 quote unquote accusers. All of them are, in hiding because according to Thomas Jafar, they do not feel comfortable. And I don't blame them, not one bit, because of all the lawsuits that are coming about. More stories are coming out. And I mean, come on, Diddy had 2 raids at his homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and you guys know what they found. What did they find at the homes? They found, quote unquote, over 130 cell phones, then 1,000 bottles of baby oil, okay, in addition to footage, right? So we have to take all that into perspective, and we do not know just all what else the prosecutors have at this point. But I will say this. There was another accuser. Whew, I tell you, there was another accuser. Not only, you can't make this up, not only was it these 3 accusers that is being represented by Thomas Jafar, you cannot make this up. Not only was it these 3 accusers, right? It is a 4th accuser, and he is the one that has, quote unquote, the first time, and I don't know if you guys have heard about him. He is the first one that has done an actual interview. Yes, he has currently done an interview. And I want to make sure I hit the key points. Okay. before I show that clip, and thank you guys for coming in, we're talking about, yes, unfortunately, so sad, Diddy. Yes, Diddy is in a new quote unquote set of lawsuits. You cannot make this up. A new set of lawsuits. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. He is in some more lawsuits, and the person that we're talking about is this gentleman right here. Okay, and yes, I have to use this picture with Young Miami, his allegedly open relationship ex-girlfriend prior to all of this. Okay, because now she has been on the run herself. She has been on the run in the sense that she is not being seen or heard around anybody with the last name Combs. As a matter of fact, the last time she was seen was at a basketball game. Okay, and it was not around anybody with the last name Combs, nor anybody that is affiliated with the last name Combs. But notice how everybody is trying to disassociate themselves from Diddy right now. Notice how everybody is trying to disassociate themselves. Even this person right here, Jay-Z. Right? Jay-Z got so upset, he released a statement. In addition to that, we now can confirm, okay, in addition to them putting Diddy with Jay-Z, okay, Jay-Z is already suing one of the attorneys, okay, that is suing Jay-Z, okay? So at this point, this is just telling you people are not trying to be associated with Diddy at this point, right? And the way Jay-Z is responding to it in his sense, okay, in his case, he doesn't want to have any parts of it. And the way he's doing it, he has already filed the lawsuit against Tony Busby. That's the first thing. Second thing, he has already released a statement, okay, explaining that nobody's going to get, in his word, one red penny. And then last but not least, the NFL has came into this. Yes, the NFL has came into this. Why? Because if you guys know what's coming up, what is coming up next year, okay, February Super Bowl. And who is over the Super Bowl, okay, who's over the Super Bowl when it comes down to halftime? Yes, this person right here, who we're talking about, I gotta show him, this person right here, Jay-Z. This is why Jay-Z does not want to be in any parts of whom? Diddy. He doesn't. He has too much to lose. He has too much invested, okay? And he does not have time to be in any lawsuits. And thank you guys for coming in. And the person we're talking about is Diddy having not one, not two, not three, at this point, 4 lawsuits. Four lawsuits by 2 different lawyers, right? 2 different lawyers, and they all have happened within the matter of what? 2 days? 2 days. Okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. The person that you're listening to, this is Politic Graham. Okay? So please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel to support the channel. Thank you so much. And also, the clip that we're going to show now is the other accuser who also wants to be anonymous. Okay? He also wants to be quote unquote anonymous. And this is quote unquote fair use. It is this gentleman. Let me go to it. It is this gentleman right here. Okay, as you can see, this was an actual interview that he did. He's still in hiding. Yes, he is still in hiding. And how long this has been in his case, we're going to talk about it. In his case, he's still hiding his face. His case happened back in 2007. And we're going to talk about the inconsistencies. the inconsistencies of his, because the interview that he did, it kind of was inconsistent of the lawsuit that he had filed back in October in regards to a matter that he alleges Diddy did to him in the year of 2007. And we're going to talk about it. Now, with this particular John Doe, he said it took place in 2007. He said he was hired to work. He said he was hired to work to be part of a security team for Diddy. And he was hired from a third party through a security firm. He also says, okay, that Diddy was very charming, okay, very charming upon first meeting him, okay. And who else said that? I want, if anybody has been on my page, who else have said Diddy has that quote unquote aura about himself, as far as being what again? Being very quote unquote charming, okay? And that person that said that, I gotta show her. I have to show her before I play it. The person that said that, who originally was this lady, Miss Precious Muir, she said that Diddy, gives that aura, right? As far as being, nice, right? And that is what this gentleman is saying. He said the same thing, right? And he also says, okay, he was hired, like I stated, hired to work as security at, wait a minute, here we go, another all-white party, another all-white Diddy party, okay? And this was back in 2007. And thank you guys, the person that we're talking about, this is another accuser. But see, the difference is with this accuser, he's the first one that has given an interview. He recently gave an interview. Okay, and that's one thing that all these other accusers have not, right? But he's the first one that said, okay, I'm gonna do an interview. And like I said, his incident happened back in 2007 when he was hired to work as a security guard at an all-white Diddy party in the Hamptons, of all places. Then he later says, later that night of him working as a security guard at the all-white Diddy party in Hamptons, he stated that Diddy himself, I want to make sure I specifically speak on that. He said, quote unquote, Diddy himself hired him, and not only that Diddy specifically handed him, okay, quote unquote, drinks. Handed him drinks. And he said that Diddy came off as a nice guy at first, very charming, right? He didn't take nothing, think nothing of it, right? He didn't think nothing of the drinks, right? But he said later that night, okay, at the party, he explains how the drinks were strong, okay? So strong that he didn't even make it past the second glass. Okay, he didn't even make it past the second glass. And then that's when he stated, and I quote, he said, and now we're going to play it. He said, and I quote, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play that part. And thank you guys for coming in.
Sean Combs was waiting in the wings. He was watching from some sort of vantage point. And once I was in a helpless position and he was sure that...
Now, I'm going to go back.
Then he took advantage of the situation. Sean Combs was waiting in the wings. He was watching from some sort of vantage point. And one...
Now, notice what he said. Notice what he said. He said Diddy was watching like a hawk. Okay? So while he was drinking, Diddy was afar. He was watching this man taking these strong drinks that Diddy had specifically handed him. Okay? Quote unquote, handed him. Right? So I want people to understand that. And then he said the next thing he knows, Okay? The next thing he knows, he says Diddy was watching him like a hawk, okay? Like a hawk watches his prey. And that is when Diddy swooped in, okay, and came for him, okay? And that's when he said Diddy pushed him into an SUV, okay? This is all going on 2007. He said Diddy pushes him into an SUV and proceeds at that point, knowing that he cannot do anything because he's had these quote unquote strong drinks. He says Diddy, quote unquote, okay, performs the fruit grape on him. Okay, fruit grape. I have to say it that way. All while he was yelling at Diddy. He was yelling at Diddy to stop. Okay? And Diddy, what did Diddy do? Let's talk about it. Diddy does the same thing that these other three accusers are saying. Diddy did the same thing, and this is why all of this are patterns. Okay? All of this are patterns because the accusers that are being represented by another attorney, look what they said. He says, I tried to resist. Combs did not stop. Told him to stop and said I was almost done. Right? But this accuser, he is the only one that's doing it. He's the only one that's actually have done an interview speaking on what these lawsuits by everybody that's suing Diddy right now. He's actually saying it verbally, vocally. Yes, he did this to me. Yes, I told him to stop. Yes, he didn't stop. Okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Now, in this interview that you're looking at right here, okay, the accuser says this is the first time he has told anyone. He has told anyone. He said he didn't even tell his wife, his then wife in 2007. He didn't even tell his then wife that he's not with now. He didn't even tell his wife. And he said the only people that know, right now about this are whom? Let's take a guess. His attorneys. Jonathan says, I can't speak on that, Jonathan. Jonathan says, we seen how he was. Now, Jonathan, let's be honest, Jonathan. Come on now. We don't want to victim shame anybody. We are speaking to educate and to inform and speak on this, okay? We're trying to educate, because one thing I do not appreciate, right? I will not stand for any type of bullying or any of that. This is the place we welcome everybody, but we have to inform. Why? Because I want men, specifically men, to understand that you are not alone. You are not alone. Because this is the first time not only is a man speaking on it, is anybody speaking on it. Because if you guys have noticed, when it comes down to Diddy, everybody is being quiet. Quote unquote quiet. And I can't agree with somebody just, not saying anything. You have to speak up. Right? You have to speak up. And I want people to understand this. When you don't speak up, this is what happens. People continue to do things. They will continue to do things. Why? Because they think they can get away with it. They think they can actually get away with things. And thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, but I just want to be honest, right? We have to be honest. Diddy has not been the best when it comes down to running business with people. Okay? He has not. And when you treat people a certain way and you allow these people to do things, okay, and continue to do things, and you don't speak up, right? This is what happens to you. The person that I'm showing, as you can see, this is just one of the incidents in regards to Diddy thinking he can have control. Diddy thinking he can have control of someone. And the person that you're looking at, this is whom? Cassie. He thought he had the utmost control of her life. Okay? And if anybody can know, he was with Cassie for how long? He was with Cassie for almost 10 years of her life. 10 years. So this is what happens when you don't speak up. This is what happens when you do not say anything. But look what Cassie did. She took a stand. And had it not been for Cassie, I'm going to be honest, had it not been for Cassie, you would not have people speaking up now. Okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Yes, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. And the person that you're looking at right now, I can't make this up. Yes. This is the gentleman. He did an interview just like this. Yes. Almost 20 years ago. Okay. He said that he was a victim. His incident happened in 2007. And like I said, I got to get back to the story. He said he has not even told anybody. And that's one of the reasons he's still remaining anonymous and wishes to continue his lawsuit as being a John Doe. Okay? As being a John Doe. Now, when it comes down to what's been going on with these lawsuits, Anthony said she got money. Is that a stand? Woo, Anthony, thank you so much for coming in. You guys are coming on. You guys are coming in so hard. I appreciate your voice on it. Now, money is not everything. And I also want to put out there, since Anthony Henderson, you asking, look, I approve of it. Look, that's a fair question. That's a fair question. Right? You're absolutely right. That is a fair question. But I want people to understand when it comes down to this gentleman that we're talking about, Diddy, and with Cassie, specifically Cassie, that you're saying that she got the money, how much did she get? Right? And to top it all off, right? Who's to say that money is going to make everything go back to what it was 20 years ago? Right? And I'm only saying that because at this particular point in time, my whole reason and feeling that she did what she did, she had to have some form of healing. And people do not understand when you go through some things like this, right? People don't speak about it for years. People don't speak about it for decades, right? But a part of healing is speaking up. And anybody who comes on my page, if you normally come on my page, that is one of the motivational things that I speak on every day. One of my motivational speakings that I say every day in the live, at the end of my live, I always say, what? Advocate for yourself and speak up. Why? Because if you don't speak up, who will speak up for you? And that is why I stand on that. And I stand on that. Narendra says, I share the same feeling. Yes. HH says, if the women or men say they were at a Diddy party, her credibility is gone. She knows what she was or he was doing. Woo, you guys coming in. Woo. Now, I will say this. I can understand what you guys are saying, because that's just like saying somebody walked down the street with a short skirt on. Does that mean they should be victimized? No. So I do understand. That. I understand your view, but I want to make sure, because I don't want people to, take it like we are, bullying or victim shaming the people that need to be held accountable. I'm going to be honest. In my personal opinion, are all the ones that stood by and did nothing and said nothing. All the ones that did nothing and said nothing. Because I'm telling you guys now, anybody that knew Diddy, they knew what was going on. They knew how Diddy moved, right? Lone Wolf says, I think all the people at the Diddy parties all knew about. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to repeat again what Lone Wolf says. Lone Wolf says, I think all the people at the parties all knew about some sort of shade that was going on. Why don't they get a shame of them? Yes, but yet they all kept going to these parties. And I've got to pin it. I got to pin it, Lone. Thank you. I got to pin it. But I will say this, right? And I'm glad you pinpointed that out. And that is how this lady comes in, okay, Miss Precious Muir. Everything is coming back. Everything is coming back. Sorry, I got to show it. Sorry about that. Okay, this lady right here. Okay, everything is coming together. Why? Because she spoke on it. She said some of the similarities when it came down to how Diddy was at these parties. And who is she? She is the former Playboy bunny, okay, that worked with Hugh Hefner, okay? And part of her job was to attend these parties. And she ended up going to Diddy parties, and she said because she went to Diddy parties, she became a victim herself. And also, not only did she become a victim herself, because she ended up getting something put in her drink, okay? And because of that, at that point, she never took drinks from anybody. She only drank, okay, out of bottles that had never been opened. She also even told other women that were at any type of parties like this, not just Diddy, but any type of parties similar to Diddy's. She said, and I want to make sure I go down and show you what she said. She said, and I quote, "Do not drink from anybody. Do not take any shots they give you. Do not do drugs with them. If you do, bring your own." Right? Bring your own. And she spoke about it. She didn't speak on it. And these are things that it's wow, because I promise you guys, to the T, to the nail, the things that she spoke about, I'm not going to make this up. The things that she spoke about, guess what? Is happening now. It is happening now. Why? Because even if we go back to the first accuser, right, that I spoke about, or one of the accusers, I'll say it that way. And I want to make sure we're on the same page. This accuser right here, right? He said the same thing that Precious, I got to make sure we're on it. He said the same thing that Precious Muir said about Diddy. She said, and I quote, she did an interview. You can't make this up. She said, Diddy gives that aura of being a nice guy. That's what she said. That's what she said. That came out of her mouth. But in addition to saying that he's a nice guy, she says he does carry himself to be that person that wants to take control of his environment. He does give that energy. And in addition to giving that energy, everybody that's around him, right, they are fearful of him. So she spoke on this. HH says, so basically she was grooming. Whoa. Who was grooming HH? Oh, no. She wasn't the one grooming. No. But Precious Muir, she basically, I can't say she was the groomer. No. She wasn't a groomer. Precious Muir, she's nowhere near that work of being a quote-unquote groomer. Stock says, I said it before. They might get all of hip hop, but they can't get the goat vanilla ice. Anthony says, sounds like she was warning. Yes. 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 She was warning. I got to pin it. I got to pin it. I got to pin it, Anthony. And thank you. Yes. But the thing is, I have to have people understand this. Who's gonna listen? That's the question. Who's going to listen? Because there's only so much warning you can give somebody. Why? Because when you're looking at somebody like this, I gotta be honest. When you're looking at somebody like this, okay, when it comes down to the money, right? When you see Diddy back in the 1990s and the 2000s, right? Let me make sure I show this. And this is the only reason I think a lot of people really ignored or looked the other way and did everything except warn people like Precious Muir did. Instead, I want people to understand that. Instead, people were actually still entertaining Diddy. Right? Still entertaining Diddy. Why? Because money makes some people shake. Especially when you have close to $1 billion. Or you have access to $1 billion. I'll say it that way. Right? And thank you guys for coming in. HH says, but why did she keep attending after they did that to her? Now, with her, okay, the lady that you're speaking about, Miss Precious Muir, okay, she did state, okay, and I look, she did state on one side of the corn, Diddy was known to be controlling. But she did say, had it not been for Diddy, she would have not elevated in her career. Because she did state with her back in the early 2000s, she worked as a model in New York. Think about it, in New York. She did say that she had no family here in America. Okay, she had no quote-unquote family. And Anthony says some money is worthless. You're absolutely right, Anthony. And that is why I say money doesn't make me shake. But the thing is, it doesn't do that for everybody. Some people move with money. You can wave $1 in somebody's face, right? And they hop. They hop and skip over $1, over $200. They hop and skip, right? You give them $5, they say I love you. Now imagine if you hang around somebody like this. You hang around somebody like Diddy. Because according to these accusers, right, in this new lawsuit, and they're all men, one of the accusers stated that after Diddy did what he did, he gave a third party $2,500 to give to a victim, one of the victims. Lone Wolf says, let's remember Diddy was giving the key to the city. There are so many involved. I bet 80% of those involved will not be named because of who they are and what can be made to disappear. And I thank you for saying that, because that is another reason these new accusers are wishing to be quote unquote anonymous and remain John Doe. HH says, Narendra says, are we 100% sure that all these victims are not doing it for the out of spite. I think they knew exactly what they were going to, and they were ready for it for favors. But when it didn't happen, they were angry. HH says, I just think these accusations should have been reported at the time they happened. And now when they can get money from it, they are too to the hush money. My thing is this. Let me say this. And hello, Mo. Thank you for coming in. Mo says Diddy and J-Lo are gone forever. Mo, what are you talking about, Mo? Everybody is still alive in this story that I'm talking about. Mo, what are you talking about? Now, I will say this. Okay, I don't know anybody that has been a victim, okay, when it comes down to things. I'm just going to just show the video, right? If you have been in a situation such as what happened in this video, if you've been in a situation like this, right, where you're trying to get away from something, and no matter what you do, you can't get away from something like Diddy, right? I don't know. And the reason I mentioned Cassie is because we have to go back, even with the lawsuit involving one of her friends. All of this is coming together. And this coming together to even answer the question that you said, Triple HH, right? The person that I'm talking about, this is one of Cassie's friends. She's recently filed a lawsuit, and her name is Brianna. If you guys can remember, she hasn't been too long herself, filed a lawsuit, okay? And she filed a lawsuit stating that Diddy, back in 2016, September the 26th of 2016, okay? And this is supposed to be one of Cassie's friends. She was at Cassie's condo. This condo right here. Okay? Back in September of 2016 in Los Angeles on the 17th floor. And according to her, because Diddy got mad that Cassie was not answering the phone, he ran through on the 17th floor of a condo, came rushing into a condo, and that's when he came for Cassie's friend Brianna. And according to Brianna, he basically scared her, okay, so much to the point he had her dangling. I'm going to say it that way, dangling, right? So that is to answer, kind of give you an idea, HHH, why people were scared of Diddy. Because look at what Diddy did to Cassie's friend, right? Look at what he did. And even so much to the point, after he did what he did, he told her, I am the devil. This is what he told her. And on top of that, got her so scared that he was going to do something not only to her, but anybody that she knew. Because look what Diddy did to Cassie's friend. All because allegedly Cassie didn't answer a phone on time. And this lawsuit, ladies and gentlemen, was filed. Sorry for the typo. This lawsuit was filed November, okay, November 27th of this year. Okay? And her friend is suing, seeking $10 million. This is Cassie's former friend. And the reason I'm speaking on this, the reason I'm speaking about this particular matter is because she wasn't the only one that spoke about this particular time. This was another one of Cassie's friends. And her name is Tiffany Red. And with Tiffany Red, if you guys don't know who Tiffany Red, she called out Beyonce. Okay. Her words, not mine. Don't come for me. She called out Beyonce. She said she's written for people. These artists, they do not want to pay. They don't want to pay the writers. And she's saying all of this, right? And in addition to that, she also said they don't want to speak up when they see stuff, such as what Diddy did to her friend Cassie. And in regards to, hello, Yo, thank you so much for coming back. According to Tiffany Red, she said, and I quote, I couldn't bear to see Cassie being treated like that, and Cassie was still going back, because just like you guys said, are saying in the chat, right? Just like you guys are saying in the chat, right? Cassie was grown. So Tiffany said, I can't continue to be there, right, and see you go through this ordeal. And when I try to help you, and not only when I try to help you, your other friend Brianna, she almost risked it all. She risked it all September the 26th. She risked it all September the 26th of 2016. So much, Diddy was dangling her. Right? 17th floor. Inside of Cassie's condo. So Tiffany Red said, if you don't want to leave, Diddy, guess what? I'm going to leave myself out of this. And that's what Tiffany Red did. And Tiffany Red spoke about this. But she didn't mention no names. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We're talking about Diddy. And this is everything as far as what I have looked up. Okay? And I'm going to go back into the comments. Please hit that like button. Eugeo says, Jane says, people are coming forward because they will now be believed. Get it together, people. And thank you so much, Jane. And that's why I said people have to have a voice, right? People have to be heard, right? HHH says, true, my bad. Cassie got done wrong. Yes, done wrong. Women have it hard. My apologies. I appreciate that, HHH. Thank you so much. And see, this is all what I want. I want people to understand. Like, I know a lot of people are going around, joking and talking about Diddy, like, ha, ha, ha. But there are true people that were affected by all of this, right? That were really affected. And I'm going to tell you this. There are videos out there, right? There are videos out there. Quote unquote videos that is going on out and about. And so much, and I'll talk about that tomorrow with another victim. Not going to mention her name just yet. It's another victim. It's a female. According to her attorney, there is video footage of her. There is alleged video footage of her and Diddy. And to some people allegedly, right? This is why she has filed a lawsuit against Diddy. Right? And it's not this one. It's not her. We'll talk about who it is tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, give or take, because tomorrow's Saturday. But please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay? And like I said, put your voice in the chat. And I have to pin what you said, HHH. I thank you for having, an open mind about this. Eugeo says, sounds like Diddy's running from some avenging women. Fully deserved. Hawk says, free if he didn't mess with the kids. Hawk, what are you talking about? Hawk, I think you're a troll. Narendra says, all I'm saying is it's very hard to take individual from glamour and Hollywood industry on their face value. If they face such horrendous acts, why did they remain silent? It seems disingenuous. And I will agree, like with some of these people, yes, I will agree. I will give some people the side eye. Why? Because we're going to go back to these accusers, these men. One of these men have showed, quote unquote, some inconsistencies, right? They have showed some quote unquote inconsistencies. And the man that I'm talking about, I want to make sure we're on the same page, is this particular gentleman. Want to make sure, and thank you guys for coming in. The man that I'm talking about is this particular gentleman here. This gentleman. Okay, he did do an interview. He did do a quote unquote interview. And is the first person to say it loud. Yes, Diddy, I am a victim to Diddy. Okay, he did speak on this. However, for the guys just coming in, I want people to understand. For the guys that's just coming in, when it comes down to this particular accuser, he did file a lawsuit back in October stating that Diddy did a fruit grape on him, okay, in an SUV back in 2007. However, okay, he's only saying that now. If you go back into the actual lawsuit that was filed back in October on this, okay, with him in regards to him being the John Doe, he changed the years. Okay, and I'm going to read it. The inconsistency in regards to just this one. I can't speak for everybody else, but for this one, he said initially the incident happened in 2006 in St. Tropez. But then when he did this recent interview recently, he stated that the incident between him and Diddy happened in the East Hamptons in New York. Okay. That's what he said also. He said it happened in New York, and in addition, it happened in 2007. But back in his initial lawsuit in October, his initial lawsuit, it said 2006, and then it said a whole different place, St. Tropez. Then on top of that, in the initial lawsuit, he never even spoke about even having a wife. But now when he does an interview, okay, in the present, now he wants to say what? He wants to say, and I quote, it happened in 2007. It happened in the Hamptons at an all-white Diddy party. Then on top of that, I had a wife. So those are three inconsistencies that he spoke about. Now, because people called him out on that, that's when his attorneys had to come in. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. That's when his attorneys had to come back in and amend the initial lawsuit that they did against Diddy back in October. They had to amend that filing and change not only the date of the incident, they changed the date, they changed the place, they changed also they had to put into play that he was married. Because in the interview that he gave recently, he said that he was such ashamed. He was so much in pain. He didn't even tell his then wife what happened. Let alone he has not told anybody, quote unquote, what happened. Now, when it comes down to this gentleman right here, he said it. If you can hear what he said, it's kind of low. I'm trying to get the volume up. But he said, and I quote, Diddy was all about having power of the situation, right? Quote unquote power. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. And I'm reading the comments. Yogio said, also, how is sharing this girl's info legal? First of all, I'm not saying any names. What are you talking about, Yogio? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Yogio? Now, I want to say, when it comes down to this, This is for people to be informed and be educated. And everything that's being spoken about is in the court documents that is, quote unquote, anybody has access to. Okay, thank you, Eugeo. But thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for coming in. And like I stated, when it comes down to this particular gentleman that we're speaking about, this is the accuser. He's the only accuser that has done an initial interview. Okay, an initial interview explaining the things that has transpired. Now, the attorney that is representing the current accusers is this gentleman. Okay, this gentleman right here, if you guys give me one moment, his name is, quote unquote, Thomas Jeffrey, right? He is the one, quote unquote, representing these accusers, these 3 new accusers, and they are all men. And according to this particular attorney, now I will be honest, I have to call a spade a spade. I believe this one, this attorney, because with him, I'm going to break down why I believe the accusers that he's representing. He's only representing 3. I'm going to say why. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to support the channel. And if you want, you also can join or donate a super sticker. But like I said, when it comes down to Thomas, this attorney right here, I'm going to tell you, I believe these accusers. Right? If you guys have been listening to this live, I have already showed you patterns from different people that have nothing to do with each other, but they all have talked about Diddy, are currently either suing Diddy or have worked with Diddy or have done business with Diddy. They have all said similar patterns. And I have to be honest. One person that said it all up, and it's coming back and making me say, whoa, everything that she's saying is absolutely true, is Precious Muir. Everything that she has said is coming out as truth. And with this particular attorney that's representing the current new accusers, Thomas Jeffrey, okay, I believe him. And I believe those 3 men, okay, that are John Doe's. I believe it. Because according to him, I just want to give you a breakdown about this attorney. He said he has seen less than 10 clients in his entire law of practice where men were DRUG, okay, and fruit great. Why? Because according to him, he said out of the entire U.S., according to studies by him, what he said, okay, he stated only 9% of all groups of men were victims of being fruit great. And that 9% are men that are the only ones that have, came up and spoke about the incidents that happened to them. So I want you guys to kind of think about things like that. Take that into note. Now, also with this attorney that is representing these 3 men that have filed a civil lawsuit against Diddy, okay, Thomas said, okay, a person does things like this. Anytime somebody goes through this, and when it comes down to people such as Diddy, right, they have patterns, okay? They have patterns. They have a type. And he also discussed patterns. He did this. I'm going to be honest. He held a press conference yesterday. In addition to holding a press conference, okay, yesterday, he has been going around doing interviews and speaking on this. And one of the interviews that he did was with Kumo. And he spoke about how these guys, or should I say these people who do what they do to people when it comes down to being violent, okay, towards women and men, they have quote unquote patterns. Okay, they have quote unquote patterns. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And like I said, when it comes down to these quote unquote patterns that they have, I want to make sure people are on the same page. Let me go back. These patterns. I want people to understand when we're on the same page. When it comes down to Thomas, he did state, okay, the patterns that all the three cases that he's representing, okay, they are similar to current. They are similar, okay, because the men approached him with similar patterns, similar cases, similar stories, similar facts from beginning to end. And he also stated each of these accusers, okay, they don't know each other. They don't know each other. And the reason I really believe him, I'll believe him because he's not representing over 122 people like Tony Busby, right? He's not representing over 122 quote unquote accusers saying that Diddy did something to them. He's only representing 3. That's it. And also he said 60 people tried to come for him. He said 60 people tried to accuse Diddy of things, but he said they were not credible. That's what he said. And he stated people who do these acts, okay, they do it for what? Power. And that is what I want people to understand when it comes down to people like this. Like, they do things like this for power. It's not about money. It's not about any of that. It's all about being in control of situations that they are in. And this lady, like I said, she spoke on it. She talked about it. And also this attorney stated that the people in these acts, okay, they are doing this to get their power back. They're doing this to get power back. They're doing this to show that they cannot be humiliated anymore. Okay? And I want to make sure, because I want to talk about Thomas a little bit more, because he's been, like I said, he's been going around doing interviews. He's been going around not only doing interviews, but he did have a quote unquote a small little press conference. And Thomas stated how he wanted to do this to send messages to other men all over the world, like I stated. Okay? And it's going to be more people come out. I promise you that. It's going to be more people. And I wanted to also state this. One of these 3 accusers he mentioned, because a lot of people have been speculating, well, what about their quote unquote, they're quote unquote, trying to see how to say, are they straight, as they say? And he stated that he was like, it's out of the 3, only one person was bi. Okay? Only one person. And he said with that particular person, okay, Diddy owed him money for doing errands for him. And because of that, he said Diddy took advantage of owing him money. He lied to him. He had him thinking that he was going to pay him back, okay, told him to go to the hotel to meet up to pay him the money that he owed. But instead of Diddy paying him the money that was owed, Diddy took advantage of him. And not only took advantage of him, but it was recorded. Tape. Remember what I said? Video footage. Now, when it comes down to the comparisons, like I stated, the comparisons to the lawsuit that was refiled this Sunday, okay, that put Jay-Z in it. And you know Jay-Z's really mad. Really, really mad. It seems as if what was said in the lawsuit on Sunday, okay, they are very similar to the current lawsuits that were filed this week. Very, very similar. The only thing different is in the lawsuits that were filed this week, okay, after Sunday, is they were not quote unquote 13 years old, nor a female. All of these accusers this week were men and adults. Only difference. Everything else is so similar. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I am trying to work this. Okay, literally this mouse is acting up, and I'm literally trying to do all this. Okay, I'm doing this all by myself. So please, I appreciate you guys for coming in, supporting, hitting the like button. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you, please do that. And also, if you want to support even more, you can also donate a super sticker or become a membership to the platform. Now, when it comes down to Thomas Jafora, I'm gonna tell you also why I believe him. Right? I'm gonna tell you also why I believe him. He said he has been in law over 30 years. And he currently is working for a law firm with these other attorneys. Right? And for him, he's tried over 100 cases. He's practiced in the state of New York, both statewide and federal court level. And he has expertise specifically in cases such as Diddy, as well as malpractice and accidents, civil rights violations, okay, negligence, okay. And not only that, he has license, okay, to practice in not only New York, New Jersey, Utah. Like, this is why I really can, I believe him. Right? And I also want to state this, why I wanted to talk about him even more, because he was part of the Weinstein litigation. Okay? So anybody know what happened to Weinstein? Okay? Come on now. And this is just some of his records. Okay? The attorney that's representing the 3 accusers, okay, that filed the lawsuit against Diddy this week. Okay? He has won $58 million for one person that he represented. Then he won $21 million for a verdict in regards to 3 children dealing with brain damage. Then he won another case for $20 million. Like, everything that you're seeing right here, I can't make this up. All of these cases are cases that he has not only won for his clients, but they have won millions for each of the clients that he represents. So this is why I believe him more. I believe the accusers that he's representing. I really do. And I will say this, with him, I think Diddy need to be scared. I think Diddy needs to be very, very, very scared. Now, Diddy's response. What is Diddy's response? His team, okay, they call them the Dream Team. Diddy's defense. Their response is, and I quote, "These complaints are full of lies. We will prove them false and seek sanctions against every unethical lawyer who filed fictional claims against him." Now, notice what they said. They're basically trying to put out there, they're going to sue Thomas Jafora. They're going to sue Tony Busby. They're trying to throw it out there like that. Because according to their statement, I'm going to read it one more time. They said, "These complaints are full of lies. We will prove them false and seek sanctions against every unethical lawyer who filed fictional claims against Diddy," their client. So they've already trying to put it out there. And I quote, "Oh, we're finna sue." But the question is, just like I said, when it comes down to Thomas Jafora, you can see it for yourself. He don't lose. He doesn't lose a case. One case, he brought a client $58 million. One case. The law firm, I'll say this before I move forward from him. The case, okay, the law firm that he is working under, they have in total, okay, won almost $1 billion when it comes down to verdicts. Right? So like I said, he don't lose. He does not lose. Now with Tony Busby, no comment. No comment. No comment with Tony Busby. Now, as far as Miss Precious Muir, when it comes down to what she has stated, she's stating the same things that these accusers have speculated or accused Diddy, carrying himself one way and doing another, having that aura about himself. Right? Having that aura. And I want to play a clip because today we are talking about some of these things that's been going on. Okay? And this particular clip that I'm going to play of Miss Precious Muir, I want to make sure I hit the key points with what she said. She was asked about Diddy's aura. And she basically said the same thing that all these other accusers are saying about Diddy. Okay? He carries himself one way, but he still gives that energy. He still gives that energy that he will, that fear, has that fear in people. Gives that fear. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to play. Let me see. Okay, I'll play. And this is fair use. Fair use. And thank you guys for coming in.
When I first met him, he has this aura about him. He has a way, he just has something that he has a kind side, as it were, because he's talking to you, but you do fear him because you're like, you don't know what his next move is going to be. You don't know what he's going to respond or what he's going to say.
Now, notice what she said, right? Because I want people to understand when it comes down to the way he moves. She's not the only one that said that. She's not. She's not the only one that has said that. And I'm gonna show what Thomas, quote unquote, Thomas Jafora said he had a mini quote unquote press conference. Okay, he said something similar. And thank you guys for coming in. He said something similar. Because he said it's all about the power, the quote-unquote power. And give me one moment. My apologies. This accuser is the one that said something similar. I was trying to actually see it for you guys. Bring it to the fore for you guys. As far as that aura, okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Go ahead. Get my stuff together. But like I stated, with this particular attorney that's representing the three accusers, he stated it's all about the power. It's all about the power. And the reason that they are still going to be quote unquote anonymous is because they felt like Diddy might do something to them. Right? And they still have quote unquote fear of Diddy, even with Diddy being quote unquote, locked up behind bars, as they say. And this particular gentleman that you're looking at, thank you guys for coming in, is the current attorney that's representing the new accusers that filed lawsuits this week. And his name is Thomas Jafora. So thank you guys for coming in. Trying to get my clip together, you guys. Trying to get my clips together. But I want to actually talk about this particular person right here. Okay. This particular person, Jonathan Audie. Okay, with him, he was the one that he's still locked up behind bars. Okay, he's still locked up. He was the one that damaged Trump property back in the year, it was 2018, and he's been locked up since 2018. And this particular screenshot of him, this is when they actually arrested him and questioned him on why he did what he did by damaging Donald Trump's property in Florida. And it was in this particular interview where he said that Diddy hired him. He stated, quote unquote, Diddy hired him to, quote unquote, be there for Cassie when he wasn't there, when Diddy wasn't there. Okay? He, quote unquote, worked for Diddy to, quote unquote, please Cassie. That is what he said in his interview when they arrested him. Yes, this particular guy that you see. And just like I stated, he has been locked up ever since 2018. Okay? 2018. Think about that for a minute, you guys. Just think about it. And now let's think about this. You have him stating this back in 2018 that allegedly he worked for Diddy to do something with Cassie. I said that way as Diddy was watching. I'll say it that way, right? Then now you have these accusers, these new accusers, okay, stating that their incidents happened between 2019 and 2022, and all of them are men. And none of them know each other. Nobody knows each other. Right? So I want people to take that into perspective. How is it, quote unquote, everybody is saying the same thing, but nobody knows each other? They don't know each other at all. And thank you guys for coming in. Oh my goodness. Hello, Tina. Tina says, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Tina, I cannot repeat the other part. The Urban Goddess says, if the host voice is Bob, yes, please scroll. Thank you. And Sarah says, Sarah, thank you so much. Sarah says, you all right, girl. You didn't give anything wrong. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate it. Like I said, I try to come with the facts. I try to come with the facts. Anthony says, can we give exact dates of life events nearly 2 decades ago? And see, this is why, people have to understand it is so many lawsuits that is piling up on Diddy. It is so many lawsuits. And now it has gotten to the point he's putting people, well, I'm not going to say he. I'm not going to say he just directly himself, but so is now other people such as Jay-Z. They're being pulled into these lawsuits. They're being pulled into these quote unquote lawsuits. And I'm going to be honest. The quote unquote Jane Doe that put herself in the refiling of the lawsuit on Sunday, she stated that her incident happened when she was 13 in the year of 2000, around the same time Diddy was dating J-Lo. So then my question is, who's to say they won't bring J-Lo into this? Who's to say? Because people, like I stated, people are bringing folks into this even if they don't even have quote unquote anything to do with it. Because look what they did to Jay-Z. Look what they recently did to Jay-Z on Sunday. Jay-Z done got in a lawsuit Sunday, and they just put him in the lawsuit. And the lawsuit didn't originally have him, but the Jane Doe, she put Jay-Z in this. See, this is why you have to be careful who you associate yourself with. This is why you have to be careful. And I promise you, I guarantee it, that's one of the reasons Jennifer Lopez hadn't said nothing. She hasn't spoken a word. I guarantee you that's why. Why? Because she doesn't want to be like this. She don't want to be put in it like they're putting Jay-Z in this. And Jay-Z has already started in the works. Jay-Z has already started in the works of, and I quote, right? He is covering himself. He's already, last month, okay, he filed a lawsuit against the attorney that is representing this Jane Doe. He's representing Jane Doe, okay? He's already filed a lawsuit against this attorney, Tony Busby. Okay? Why? Because Jay-Z does not have time to afford to lose any of his business. Right? Because we have to understand, who is he married to? He is married to one of the most powerful, well-known women in the world. That is Beyonce. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Right? Powerful. She's worth more money than Jay-Z by herself. So he has now somehow got put into a lawsuit, and he had to hurry up and file a lawsuit against the attorney. And see, that's what I want people to understand. See, that is the difference between Jay-Z and Diddy. The difference between Jay-Z, let me slide it over. The difference between Jay-Z and Diddy is Jay-Z's gonna do it. Jay-Z has already filed the lawsuit. So he's already put it out there. You come for me, you better be ready. But look at what Diddy is doing. Diddy is locked up. Diddy has not one, not two, over 30 lawsuits that have been physically filed, and more than over 100 pending. And watch this. I want you guys to understand this. Diddy has not, from what I've watched, from what I've looked up, he had his team, this so-called dream team, that have put out statements stating that for anybody that tries to say that our client has done anything, you will be sued you will be sued. The lawyers, they have not sued any of these attorneys yet. Diddy's team has not sued any of these attorneys. Not yet. And it's really odd to me. And I want people to understand this. I want people to take this into perspective. I want people to take this into perspective when it comes down to these quote-unquote lawsuits. I want to make sure I read exactly what Diddy's team have came out with, what they said. They said, and I quote, "These complaints are full of lies. We will prove them false and seek sanctions against every unethical lawyer who filed fictional claims against Diddy." Right? This is what his team is saying. This is what Diddy's teams are saying. But remember what I said, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you wish. Nobody has sued yet. The only person that is standing, as they say, standing on some type of business, and we're going to talk about Jay-Z, because it's kind of odd. He hopped so fast to sue the lawyers, or should I say Tony Busby, but he can't sue these other folks. But I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't want to get sued like he's suing Tony Busby. But I say that to say, right? Jay-Z said, I'm standing on business, and you're not finna put me in this mess. I have a family to protect. I have kids to protect. You're not finna put me in this madness. But remember what I said, you guys. Diddy's attorneys haven't sued a lawyer yet. They have not sued not one lawyer. Not one. So we have to kind of take all that into perspective, and I appreciate you guys for coming in. I'm going to go into the comments. I'm scared to go into the comments, but I'm going to the comments. Big Time Charlie says the 9% were all at the party. And see, this is what I want people to understand when it comes down to these quote-unquote Diddy parties, right? You have to, you know, that's why my motivational quote for today is, and I quote, right? Evil never sleeps. You always have to be prepared. You have to be strong for what comes your way. Because based off of what I noticed with all of these people that have come out with these lawsuits, right? They have said some similar things like Diddy did put something. He put something in my you know what. And it caused me to not be able to know what was going on in my surroundings. Right? All of these are similarities. But remember what I said, and I'm standing on this. For the person that is suing Jay-Z, I'm going to be honest. Okay? For the person that put Jay-Z in this, you better be ready. Because Jay-Z, this is how I know. This is how I know his quote-unquote brand is still somewhat of a brand. Because the NFL has not let him go. He's still going to be over the Super Bowl halftime. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, you guys. I want people to understand this. Here's the thing. When it comes down to this quote-unquote Super Bowl halftime, how many years did Jay-Z has been involved with this? He was the one that gave the okay to have Kendrick be the headliner, okay, for the Super Bowl next year in Louisiana. He's the one that gave the quote-unquote, let's do it. But I want people to understand this. Diddy's brand has not been the same for years. And I'm telling you right now, with Diddy's brand, he is, as they say, what? Expendable. And for everything that Diddy has been doing to people, for everything that he has been, how he's been treating people, right? This is how I know Diddy's in trouble. This gentleman right here, he almost got $100 million from Diddy. He almost got he won. I take it back. He did win $100 million lawsuit from Diddy while he's been locked up in prison. Okay, and this guy is Cardello Smith. Yes, you heard right. This gentleman right here. And what was he claiming? He said Diddy was doing things to him as well. He said some similarities as these new accusers, okay? He said some similarities. In his case, Cardello Smith, he said the incidents occurred in the year of 1997 in September and October. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He almost won the $100 million. He did win the $100 million, but Diddy's team proved that the filing was not properly filed. The papers were not properly filed, and the $100 million win ended up getting reversed. Because at one point, Diddy had lost the lawsuit, and Diddy was supposed to pay, as you can see, $10 million a month to Cardello Smith, who's currently in a Michigan prison. And, oh yes, I forgot. Guess what he's in the Michigan prison for? He's in the Michigan prison for SA himself. This is why I say I don't know how it's going to come out for Diddy. Because anytime, I just want you guys to think about this. Anytime somebody can go to prison for SA themselves, allegedly, SA themselves, and then not only be in prison, but win a $100 million lawsuit against somebody like Diddy, who's allegedly was supposed to be almost worth $500 million, that's when you know Diddy himself is in trouble. That's when you know Diddy himself is in trouble. That's when you know Diddy has a problem. And anybody that associates himself or herself, okay, with Diddy moving forward, I hate to break it to you, you're in trouble too. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, this person right here, she's been quiet. She has not said nothing. She hasn't. And I also want to say this. This is why these accusers in the present, they are still in quote unquote hiding. They're suing Diddy, but guess what? Diddy has put so much fear, okay? So much fear in these people, right? The accusers are still hiding. They're still in hiding as we speak. And that's why I say a lot of people have to understand and wake up to this particular point in time. You have to be ready for what's to come. And you know one thing, I also want to say this. There has been a quote unquote leaked video of Diddy, okay, since he allegedly has been locked up, okay, at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. There has been a quote unquote leaked video. And with this leaked video, it is a video of him talking, corresponding to a member, allegedly a son. Okay? And why am I bringing up this? Why am I bringing up this? Because the prosecutors themselves brought it up. They brought up the fact that ever since Diddy has been locked up, right? Up until recently, up until his bail was denied for the 4th time. And we talked about it. Up until his bail was quote unquote denied. And I want to talk about it. They said Diddy was in quote unquote jail trying to still do what he wanted to do. Right? That was their argument. This is how the prosecutors on a federal level, this is how they're moving. This is how they're moving. Right? And their argument, I want people to understand this. I want people to understand this. This is why the judge denied it. This is why the judge denied the request for a bond. Oh, let's not forget, quote unquote, what was found during the raids. Because see, this is what Diddy has to, all of this that you're looking at, all of this that you're quote unquote looking at, this is what Diddy has to, his team, they're going to have to argue. They're going to have to actually say, why did their client have 1,000 bottles of baby oil in his alleged, from what appears to be in this picture, bathroom? And this picture that you see right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the picture of when one of his homes, either in Miami, I think this was the home in Los Angeles that you're looking at. This is the home, okay, what they found. And what you see, ladies and gentlemen, those are 1,000 bottles, according to the prosecutors, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Okay? This is how the attorneys are coming. And like I said, I want to make sure we're on the same page. That attorney that's representing these 3 accusers that filed that lawsuit this week, I want people to understand he doesn't lose. He does not lose a case. He doesn't. And the attorney that I'm talking about, who am I talking about? Who am I talking about? I want you guys to actually understand. When it comes down to this attorney that I'm speaking on, this attorney right here never loses. Okay, his record is he's won millions and millions of dollars for his clients. He doesn't lose a case. And he's coming on the silver end. And the reason I brought that up, I said, okay, if he's coming like that, and the accusers are coming on a silver level, how do you think the feds are coming if they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil, over 130 cell phones, scratched off, okay, devices that have serial numbers scratched off? How do you think they are going to move when May the 5th of 2025 comes? How do you think they're going to move? And the reason I wanted to bring up that quote unquote, when Diddy's attorneys, unfortunately, tried to argue to request Diddy to get bond, the prosecutors, the federal prosecutors, I gotta mention them, their argument was Diddy's not safe to the community. Why? We gotta be honest. Why did they say that he was not safe to the community, and why his crimes were more serious than others? Is because he was not following quote unquote rules since he's been locked up in jail. And what was their argument? We're going to talk about it. What was their argument? Right? As I mentioned, FBI agents raided Diddy homes in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles and found 130 cell phones they obtained with the 1,000 bottles of baby oil in Los Angeles home. In addition, they have text messages between Diddy and his ex-girlfriend, where her words said, and I quote, "You are sick for doing what you do and what you've done." Right? I have a black eye. These are text messages. These are things that are evidence that they use against Diddy for Diddy to have a bond failed again, the request. Right? And then they even use the fact, gotta be honest, they even use the fact Diddy had a notebook in the jail. Had a notebook. What did the notebook say? Right? According to the prosecutors, Diddy's own team lied in regards to the notebook. Or should I say notebooks found in the cell? Because according to Diddy's attorneys that represent him, they initially told the judge that all of the notebooks said legal, the phrase legal. But when his cell was raided, okay, his cell was raided, that found to be not true. Found to be not true. And this is everything what has been going on since Diddy's been locked up. Right? They have proof where it showed that prior to Diddy getting arrested, he tried to reach out to a witness. Then after he got arrested, okay, and has been held in jail or the correction facility, he still had been trying to reach out to a witness, allegedly. This is what the prosecutors are saying. Right? Then, just to show just how much Diddy wants to be in control of everything, he was paying, according to what the prosecutor stated, the federal prosecutors of this case coming up, according to them, they said Diddy had paid 8 inmates to use their cell phones to avoid his calls being traced. Why? Because according to the prosecutors, he's still trying to reach out to people outside, witnesses. And according to prosecutors, he's not only trying to reach out to witnesses, he was also he used his own family members and his own defense attorneys in these quote-unquote 3-way calls. That's why I say things are not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why I say I believe a lot of this is true. It's true. You have to look at everything that's been going on. Even the prosecutors called out Diddy's own attorneys and called his own attorneys a lie. He said his own attorneys are liars. That's what he said. That's what the prosecutors are saying. Called the attorneys not only liars, but are also being used by Diddy, just like allegedly these accusers are saying Diddy did to them. And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys coming in. We are talking about Diddy. Okay, we're having a quote-unquote, as they say, a Diddy live. Because with these new accusers that have been coming up, because we got to understand, it's so many lawsuits. There was just a refiled lawsuit Sunday. 7 days hasn't even gone by. Okay? Thursday comes up. Now we have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 new lawsuits. 4 new lawsuits. And all of them are saying very similarities, and nobody knows each other. Nobody knows each other. Now, when it comes down to just how much Diddy is getting, I feel I don't know what's to come. I don't know what's to come for Diddy as far as it quote unquote being the, what is it they say, the tunnel at the end of the road. You'll see the light, right? You'll see the light. I don't know for Diddy. Why? Because Diddy already showed that he's still doing Diddy stunts, even locked up. And when I say quote unquote Diddy stunts, as far as thinking that you cannot be told what to do. That's what I mean when I say quote unquote Diddy stunts. Okay? And we have to look at things that Diddy has done in his past and his present. Like, I want you guys to really think about that. Do you think Diddy will get out with all of this piling up? Because I'm telling you right now, and I want to make sure I want to make sure I'm on this. I do not ever want it to seem like, people are being quote unquote victim shamed. We're talking about this to inform people of what is going on and to let people know you need to quote unquote speak up. And also know it is never too late. It's not. And if Diddy was smart, gonna be honest, if Diddy was smart, right, he would not be quote unquote paying, according to what the prosecutors say, paying 8 inmates, okay, money to use their cell phones. Right? He's still, and I just want you guys to understand this. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you have had your way so long, you think you cannot be stopped or bothered or touched or stopped. And according to what one of these quote unquote accusers, these recent accusers, stated in their recent lawsuit, their words, and I quote, they said, Diddy said, and I quote, when they asked him to stop, when they asked Diddy to stop doing what he was doing, his word was, I'm almost done. And then the other accuser said Diddy ignored him and acted as if he was in a whole nother world. This is why I don't know what's to come for Diddy. I don't know what's to come. I do not know. But what I can say, and I want to stand on this. I want to stand on this when I say what I say. Advocate for yourself and speak up no matter what you do in life. Advocate for yourself and speak up. And don't allow anyone or anything to tell you what you are, who you are. Because it seems as if one thing that I'm noticing about a lot of these people that are in quote unquote Diddy's circle, including Diddy's attorneys, okay? Diddy's attorneys. Because even in that last filing to ask for Diddy to get out, they lied for Diddy. And they got caught up in a bad lie. More than once. Okay? Allegedly. You don't believe me? Don't believe me? I'll show you. I will show you the filing tomorrow. I will show you the filing that the judge himself, this judge here who's overseeing the case, Judge Arun, what he spoke about. in regards to the prosecutors, what he spoke about in regards to his reasoning for denying Diddy for the 4th time. And I thank you guys for coming in. And I want to make sure we're on the same page. I want to actually take it back a little bit. Take it back for the people that are new coming in. Yes, there are, quote unquote, new lawsuits. New, quote unquote, lawsuits. Right? And you also have to understand this. When it comes down to these new lawsuits, people have to understand the baby oil that was found in the Los Angeles home, right? That baby oil, you know that's going to be tested, right? You know they're gonna try to see if there's anything in that oil other than just oil. I want people to understand that. Now, when it comes down to the new quote unquote lawsuits, right? There are not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 accusers. Yes, you heard correct. 4 accusers. Right? First accuser, John Doe. All of them are calling themselves John Doe according to their attorney because to protect themselves. And if you guys can look at who's also being mentioned in this lawsuit, Sony Music Holdings Incorporated. So under this lawsuit, they're suing the defendants named in this lawsuit: Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings Incorporated, Bad Boy Entertainment LLC, Bad Boy Productions Holding, Daddy's House Recordings Incorporated, and last but not least, Sony Music Holdings Incorporated. Now, when it comes down to the first John Doe, we're going to take it back a little bit. I want to make sure we're on the same page. When it comes down to accuser number 1, John Doe, as he calls himself in this lawsuit, his incident happened in 2020. He claims that he unknowingly consumed something from Diddy that caused him to not be aware of his surroundings. And that is when the John Doe stated Diddy, as well as Diddy's associates, they took turns and did the fruit grape on the accuser. The fruit grape. I have to say it that way for YouTube purposes. Please understand. Thank you for coming in. John Doe number 2. John Doe number 2 stated his incident happened in New York. In New York at Park Hyatt Hotel at an after party. And he said he thought based upon his initial conversation and meeting Diddy, that Diddy came off as nice. Right? Because he said he met Diddy at a nightclub. He met Diddy at a nightclub prior to this incident through a mutual friend. And he said he was invited to join Diddy and as well as 10 others at the suite at Park Hyatt Hotel in 2019. At that point, here goes the similarities again. He was offered something to drink. And next thing he knows, he ends up not knowing what's going on. So much to the point, he falls asleep and wakes up. He says that's when he wakes up. He wakes up to Diddy doing a fruit grape on him. All while people are watching this go on. He said a man, an unnamed man, and a woman were recording this. So guess what? Now we have videotape. Now we have video footage. And I guarantee I'm putting money on this. I'm putting money on this. If Diddy has any videos looking like the videos that's been coming out with R. Kelly, right? If there's even one video that gets leaked out to the public, because allegedly there are already videos of Diddy, right? Allegedly there's already videos of Diddy, because if you guys heard me earlier in this live, the prosecutors had, during the raid that was done earlier this year, right? During the raid, they confiscated over 130 cell phones. Oh, I forgot to say, let's not forget another witness that has been put in the case. He says he has 11 hard drives. So like I said, if there's even one video that gets leaked out that looks like any of the videos that has been leaked out on R. Kelly, and you guys know where R. Kelly is today, I don't have to say anymore. Diddy think he's in trouble now? He's really in trouble. He's really in trouble. And I want to make sure I go back and show the witness that the prosecutors are using as one of their lead witnesses, okay? It is this guy. I've talked about it before, and thank you guys for coming in. Okay, with all this that's coming up and about, this witness alleges, and he has been subpoenaed to be in the trial, okay, as one of the witnesses, okay, because he came out or wrote a book called Tell It All. And he mentioned it had pictures. He had pictures in the book. And he spoke about celebrities in the book, okay, that were involved in activities with Diddy. And the gentleman that I'm talking about, you guys should know who I'm going to show, is this gentleman. So I'm putting all this for you guys to put together, like, okay, all this, everybody's not lying. Everybody's not lying. Right? And with this guy, he's being sued because according to Diddy's attorneys, he does not have legal rights to hold any hard drives or anything pertaining to Diddy. Why? Because the hard drives that he alleges that he has pertains to one of Diddy's ex-girlfriends who passed away, who Diddy had children from, and that is Miss You-Know-Who Porter. So like I said, with Diddy's quote-unquote dream team, and this is his attorneys, I want people to understand it is not looking good. Because just like I told you, even with Diddy's attorneys tried to quote-unquote request for a fourth bail, the prosecutors were able to prove to the judge that even they were caught up in a lie. They were caught up in a lie. So the judge is like, well, heck, Mr. Combs, if your own attorneys are lying and then you're in jail, right now you're in jail, you're already still trying to do things you're not supposed to be doing prior to you even requesting for bail. And while you're requesting for bail, why should we let you out? Why should we let you out? And thank you guys for coming in. I wanted to make sure to talk about what's been going on in this case. Okay, because like I said, it's so many lawsuits that's been going on. It is so many things that has been going on in regards to this matter. And like I said, the attorney that's representing the new accusers, 3 of the new accusers, he never loses. He never loses. Now, there is one accuser that's not represented by him. Okay, he has been doing interviews, but he is still in hiding, right? And he's still identifying himself as a John Doe. Now, him, I might, kind of waver, because his filing that he did in October against Diddy, they were inconsistent with the interview that he recently did, because the inconsistencies were the place, the location of the incident, the year of the incident, as well as if he was married or not. Okay? So these are the things that we have to take into play. These are the things that we have to take into play. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to go into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Sarah says, it will hit Diddy at some point. That life as he knew it is over. And see, this is why I want people to understand, this is what happens when you get hold of so much money, or you get so much money, you get into a position where you think you cannot be bought. Well, I'm sorry. You think you cannot be stopped. I'll say it that way. You think you cannot be stopped. And this is when you have so much money. You have people that are what we say yes people, right? And according to this attorney that represents 3 of the new accusers that filed the lawsuit this week, he stated that Diddy, right? He stated that Diddy does things for power. And he does things, or he did things to humiliate people, to have some form of control. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to read the comments, some more of the comments. Fred says, Fred, thank you for coming in, Fred. Mark says, yeah, Diddy's innocent. That's why he's in jail still. Yeah, Mark. Thank you so much, Mark, for coming in. HHH says, Cassie is way out. That guy's league. Sarah says, you're right. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck. Yes, it is. And I want people to understand, when it comes down to when you get all of this money, you get comfortable. You think you can't be bought. And I appreciate you guys for coming in. I wanted to actually show this particular gentleman. Give me one moment. This particular actual gentleman. I might show him another time. But when it comes down to what's been going on with everything with Diddy, I don't know how Diddy's going to get out. I don't know what's going to happen to Diddy moving forward. All I know is I pray that, that his family, the innocent ones, I'll say that, the children, right? The children, not the adults, the children, right? They have some type of peace when all this dust, subsides, right? Because look at all what's been coming up. Look at what's all been coming out. And I'm telling you, it's more and more is gonna come out by May the 5th of next year when the trial starts. When the trial finally starts. Because now you have lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit coming it seems like lawsuits are coming out more now every week or every 2 weeks. Literally. I'm gonna go back into the comments. I appreciate you guys coming in. Sarah says she was involved with Diddy in the late 90s and carried a pop in her purse for Diddy in the club. Oh, you talking about? I know who you're talking about, Sarah. I know who you're talking about, Sarah. And this is why people are trying to be quiet. People are trying to be quiet. Right? People don't want to say nothing. I know who you're talking about, Sarah. HHH says, so is she a victim of Diddy or a helper? And this is why, you know, I wanted to do this live to let people know that you have to speak up. And it's never too late. It's never too late to speak up. Fishing says, so tell us, Diddy. Where I'm not going to repeat that, Fishing. I'm not going to repeat that, what you just said. And this is why I want people to understand this moving forward. I hope that, you know, look, anybody that's out there listening, know that, you know, it's never too late to make a report. It's never too late, but also know this, right? Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed. And it's never too late to speak up. Never. Now, I'm not saying, look, like I stated, everybody is not lying. And now some people, I'll say some people lying. Some people lying, but everybody's not lying. Everybody's not lying. And the videos that are allegedly that the prosecutors have, I just hope some of these people that's in this, that are in those videos that have been confiscated, okay, I hope it does not include some celebrities, right? I hope it doesn't include some celebrities, because then they'll really be in trouble. It won't just be Diddy in this, because that's what a lot of people have been saying. Diddy has had quote unquote facilitators around him. And as a matter of fact, you have lawsuits that go all the way back to the year of 1991. 1991. So think about that for a minute. Just think about it for a minute. If you have a lawsuit going all the way back to the year of 1991, and now we're in 2024, and then to top it all off, this guy won $100 million lawsuit against Diddy in the year of 1997. What in the world you think going to happen with all these lawsuits that's piling up on Diddy now? Serious. What do you think? And then I want to make sure I reiterate this, right? Diddy has put up his home for sale, and he can't even sell it. He tried to put up his home for sale for $60 million. For $60 million, and he cannot even sell the home. He cannot even sell his $60 million home. He can't even sell it for $30 million. Why? Because somebody put out the number $30 million. They offered Diddy's team, okay, the person that's selling, that's representing the home to sell it, they offered Diddy $30 million, and Diddy did not take it. Right? And the guy actually said it. He said, He said if Diddy doesn't take it, we're not going to do nothing but continue to go lower. So Diddy he cannot even sell anything. He can't. See, this is when you know your brand is not the same anymore. It's not the same. And this is when you know people such as this person, they don't want to be seen or heard. They don't want to be seen or heard with their name and mention about Diddy. And a person I'm talking about is her right here. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to say her name. But if anybody knows, this person was one of the artists that allegedly was on the last project that Diddy had worked on prior to him getting arrested. Okay? Allegedly. And the reason I'm saying allegedly, because the executive producer who was working on Diddy's last album called what again? The last album? Little Rod. Can't forget about Little Rod. He's suing Diddy. He's currently suing Diddy. So you have all of these lawsuits coming against Diddy. That's why nobody wants to be seen. Nobody wants to be seen or heard, their name being spoken about with Diddy. And so much to the point, now you have accusers being represented by top level attorneys such as Thomas Jaffe, top level attorneys that have won a case for one person for $58 million. What do you think is going to happen in regards to the lawsuits that have been filed this week? 3 guys don't even know each other, and they're being represented by top tier attorneys. Well, one attorney. So I want people to kind of put that into perspective. And I'm going down into the chat. Thank you guys for coming in. Shout out to Junkyard. Thank you, Junkyard, for coming in. Sarah says, from what I understand, a little bit of both, I think. Anthony Henderson says, Diddy not in prison with them. They in prison with Diddy. And thank you guys for coming in. Michael says, Diddy getting what he deserves. And see, this is why Diddy is in the position that he's in. Because just what Michael said. Michael said it best. Diddy is getting what he deserves. Because of all the bad business that he's done to people in the past. Like, even if we take, let's say it this way. Let's say Diddy's innocent on all this, right? We cannot forget the fact that he has done people wrong on a business level. And thank you, Inner Beauty Blessings. Thank you for coming in. Inner Beauty Blessings says hi. The Shea Butter says he's still doing, oh, whoa. I can't repeat that, Shea Butter. Shea Butter says he's still FO and he's not getting out. I think it will shock me if somehow he gets out, because he was giving a chance. We got to be honest. He was given a chance. And he did not take that into initiative. He was given a chance. Right? He was given the opportunity. When was he given the opportunity? When, according to the former rapper Shine, Sean said it best. He says, quote unquote, they blamed me for the club incident. They blamed me. And I ended up having to get sent back to Belize and do 10 years in prison for a crime allegedly that Diddy did. See, these are the things that, you know, what do they call it? They call it karma. Karma. And karma is a game that you don't play with, right? Karma is a game that you don't play with. That's why you do unto others, right? That's why you do unto others as they would do unto you. Treat someone how you want to be treated. Because you never know what's to come. You never know what's to come moving forward. Because who would have thought in a million years, Diddy, who was worth at one point, from what I looked up, allegedly worth $500 million, now he can't even get a bond of $50 million. He can't even get a bond to get out on $50 million, where at one point he was worth $500 million. Some people speculate if you include his assets, he was a billionaire, but I don't know. All I know is he had more money than a lot of people. He had more money to do more than what he did with it. Right? And now he's in a position where all of these lawsuits are coming up and coming about, and he cannot do anything. He can't do anything but just be in a cell. Can't. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We are having a quote unquote Diddy live. We're talking about the lawsuits that have been coming in. Yes, Diddy, I cannot make this up. He has had not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 lawsuits in the past, 5 days, less than 5 days this week. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up, people. And thank you guys for coming in. And I want people to understand when it comes down to this person that we're talking about, Diddy. Okay? When it comes down to this person we're talking about, the person that you see right here, he's put my name out of it. Because his name was put in it this Sunday through a refiling. Yes. And the person that you're looking at is Mr. Sean Carter. And he's already coming. He's coming with everything. Because for one, just last month, come to find out, he admitted it. I think either him or Tony Busby admitted it. He was the one that filed a lawsuit against Tony Busby, who's representing the accuser that filed a lawsuit against him and Diddy this Sunday. He says you can play with Diddy, but don't play with me. That's what Diddy said. I mean, not Diddy. That's what Jay-Z said. He said, "Don't play with me. Play with Diddy." Why? Why do I say he said that? He said it in his actions. He said it in his actions. His actions are 1. He started to get a word that his name was going to be put in this mess. What was his word in this? What was his response? Last month, he filed the lawsuit against Tony Busby, the attorney that's representing an accuser that remains to be named Jane Doe. First thing. Second thing, they tried to refile it. When Jay-Z last month, okay, I gotta bring it. Just last month, Diddy anonymously filed a lawsuit against Tony Busby and said this whole thing is for extortion. Right? What did Tony Busby do? In response to Jay-Z filing a lawsuit against his law firm, they refiled the lawsuit this Sunday. They not only refiled the lawsuit Sunday and put Jay-Z's name in it, right? They even said, this is what Jay-Z did in it. This is what Jay-Z did in it. Hello, you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear me. But like I stated, when it comes down to you guys, when it comes down to, sorry for the technical difficulties. When it comes down to what's been going on, one moment, you guys, I apologize. One moment. Like I said, you guys, when it comes down to what's been going on with this person right here that we're speaking about, he said, not only are you going to sue me, you're going to try to sue me. Tony Busby said, I'm not going to fall for this lawsuit that you did on me last month. Now I'm going to refile it, and I'm going to put your name in it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why there was a lawsuit filed Sunday. Why? Because Jay-Z, I want to make sure we're on the same page. Jay-Z ended up filing a lawsuit against Tony Busby anonymously last month. End up filing a lawsuit against Tony Busby last month. And I want people to understand what's been going on. Because he filed a lawsuit against the attorney that represents the accuser, right? We got to talk about it. Because he filed the lawsuit, Jay-Z filed the lawsuit anonymously last month. Tony Busby, I think it's just being petty, he goes back and files a lawsuit, refiles the lawsuit, and mentions Jay-Z's name. This Sunday, mentions Jay-Z as being one of the people in the incident or the accusation of what happened. Let's talk. When did this happen? The year of 2000. So now, Jay-Z, what does he do? He says, now I got to really come hard. Since Tony Busby, I tried to do it right. Tony Busby filed the lawsuit on me last month. No, Tony Busby actually tried to come for me. I filed the lawsuit against Tony Busby last month for extortion anonymously. I tried to deal with it accordingly. But now Tony Busby, his response to me filing a lawsuit against him last month, instead of just keeping my name out of stuff, he goes ahead and files a lawsuit, refiles it with my name in it. Now, this is how you handle business. Should I say cover yourself anyway? What does Jay-Z do? He comes out with a statement. He comes out with an actual statement. And what does the statement says? He says, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter. And this letter he's speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, this is the letter that he's alleging, Jay-Z is alleging he received before all of this. I don't know if it was last month or the month before, right? But in this statement that was posted on his page, Jay-Z's page, okay, his attorney says, what Tony Busby had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. Jay-Z says, no, sir. It had the opposite effect. I will not give you one red penny. See, this is how you move. Even if you're, look, be it if you're not guilty or guilty, this is how you move. But I'm telling you guys this, Diddy didn't move like that. Diddy didn't move like that. Diddy has had all these lawsuits come about, right? He's had all these lawsuits come about. He has not sued not one attorney. He has not sued nobody. The only thing his team, his attorneys has done, they released a statement saying that these complaints are full of lies. Full of lies. That's it. What else have they done? What else have, or should I say, has Diddy's attorneys done? Nothing. Nothing. What have they done? But, like I stated, when it comes down to this person that we're talking about, who was put in a refiling at that lawsuit, Jay-Z said, no, you're not going to, and then he also mentioned, I want to make sure people have to understand this. That's why I say, I don't know what's going to come of this, because Jay-Z's brand, Jay-Z's protecting his brand. He's protecting his brand. Because guess what? And people can say whatever they want to say. And now we're going to talk about Jay-Z. We might hit on Jay-Z a little bit more tomorrow. I don't know. Right? But people can, one thing I can say about Jay-Z has a wife. Jay-Z has a very well-known, very rich, influential wife. But the question is, who in the world is this that's laying by Diddy? Is this person a wife to Diddy? Is this person on the same level as Jay-Z's wife? No. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why one person is locked up in jail right now, and the other person is out and suing any lawyers that come for him. That's why. That's why. And that's why I said Diddy has all the money. Should I say had all the money, but what did he use it for? What did he use the money for? Did he use it to help anybody? Did he use it? Did he use it to help somebody start their own record label? I even break it down even more. What's to happen to the people if all is said and done? Because according to when the trial starts, they are estimating that the trial will last 6 months. I wonder what's going to happen to Diddy's assets. And I wonder, has these adults, I'll say it that way, these adults, okay, that were raised by Diddy, they're adults now. I wonder what they're going to do. Because guess what? I just spoke to you guys about a lot of these lawsuits in this live, right? I already told you this gentleman right here who's representing 3 of the men, he has already won a case that helped one client win $58 million. And he's representing 3 clients. Okay. Okay. Then I already told you Diddy has a house for sale for $60 million. He can't even get $30 million for it. Okay. Then I already told you, to break it down even more, people that Diddy has done business with, notice who I'm pointing at, they don't even want to be bothered with him. They don't even want to help him. They don't even want to go to the courtroom to support him or stand on his side. Oh, okay. But this person right here, if I can recollect, he was not too long ago on the red carpet with his family. That's what that's the difference. That's the difference. That is why Jay-Z said, I'm not in this madness, and I'm finna show you guys just how much I'm not in this madness. He's already suing Tony Busby. But just like I stated, with Diddy on the other hand, I'll say one more person that'll really, really make people think for a minute. How is it someone who has done the same accusations as Diddy when it comes down to SA trafficking, when it comes down to, okay, looking at minimum of 15 years to 20 years in life prison, how is it this person can receive bond of $10 million? But Diddy is still in. And the person that I'm talking about is this person right here. He got out. All of his accusations involves 15 men. It's a 16-count indictment. Each of these 16 counts holds of 15 years to life in prison, right? But guess what? He got out. Diddy, on the other hand, he can't even get a $50 million bond. Think about that. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you so much. I'm going to go back into the comments. My apologies. I'm trying to do a little multitasking because of what's going on. Technical difficulties. But if you support the channel, please subscribe to this particular page, Politigram, as well as like the channel, like this live. Okay, you can replay it on your spare time. If you would like to support even more, you can even, quote unquote, become a member or even just donate. You know, you can donate a super sticker. Now, thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to actually, and thank you for the like. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Going back into the comments. HH says, Cassie's kind of cute. And see, this is what I want people to. Thank you so much. I see the likes. Thank you. I see it. Thank you so much. Now, I want people to understand when it comes down to these accusations, when people do the crimes that they do, or should I say move a certain way, they do have a certain type that they deal with, right? They do have a certain type that they deal with. And they deal with people that they feel that they can control. Thank you. I see another like. I appreciate it. Thank you. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I want people to understand when it comes down to the way Diddy has been moving and the things that he does, right? These are patterns. Even right down to the type of women that he deals with. Even right down to the type of women that he deals with. Or should I say dealt with. Right? That's why I say I have no idea if Diddy will ever get out. Because according to these quote-unquote lawsuits, right? According to the federal case that he has coming up. Thank you. I see a like. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. When it comes down to all what's been going on, there was a point I thought Diddy would get out. But now, I'm going to say, heck no. I don't think so. I don't think so, not for one bit. He's not getting out. Because you have to move a certain way. And I think the way he's been moving, is not making sense. And when I say it's not making sense, thank you. I see another like. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for coming in. The way he's been moving is not been making any kind of what? Sense. Whatsoever. It hasn't been making sense. Thank you so much. Appreciate the likes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you look at the type, like I said, Diddy has a type that he deals with. Notice what I'm showing you guys. He has a type. He has a type. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate that like. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the likes. Now, I'm going to go back into the comments, and I want to make sure I give this person their grace, right? Because people have really been trying to reach out to this person and trying to get their voice on it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that likes. Let's go. Now, people have been trying to actually get this person's voice, get an interview from her, and I'm glad that she has not said anything amidst this madness that's been going on, right? Because, you know, some people, you can make noise with action. You can make noise and be a voice and don't have to do all that noise at the same time. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And thank you so much. I appreciate the likes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, when it comes down to this person I'm talking about, right, I appreciate the fact that this person that you see in the video, I appreciate the fact that because of her actions, people have been making noise and trying to have people not get, how can I say this, not keep getting away with things, right? Now, some people would say, yes, Cassie, Cassie knew a lot. She had this. No, we can say a lot. But guess what? She knew when she finally walked away. And a lot of people don't know when to walk away. A lot of people don't know not only when to walk away, but they're not here to say I walked away. And now I can move forward with my family and my life and my sanity and my peace. But this lady right here can. And see, this is why I say I don't want to ever be in a place where, I don't condone, people, saying, oh, well, they deserve this. Nobody deserves to be treated the way Diddy has treated people. Nobody. Even on a business term, a business level. I want you guys to understand this. This is a person, and people have to understand this. This is a person that, quote unquote, caused Shine to go to prison for 10 years. Thank you so much for the like. Let's go. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm going back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Sarah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Anthony says a lot of money on the table. Lawyers coming up. Exactly. I got to pin it. Got to pin that. See, lawyers, they're trying to... this is how I know... a real lawyer is not going to just make out blatant lies. When I say blatant lies, if you guys have been listening to this live, the attorneys that Diddy has, even the judge said it. You guys lied. He said it when they tried to plea. When they tried to do a plea deal. Not a plea deal, I'm sorry. When they tried to request for Diddy to get out. Lied. Just plain out lied. How do I know that? Because it was said in the document. When the judge made the rule to deny Diddy's request to bond out, he mentioned why. He says, and I quote, the legal notepads that was in the cell, the legal notepads contradicts Diddy's own defense team in arguing that Diddy's notepads all were labeled legal. That was a lie. How do we know that was a lie? Because when his cell was raided, pictures were taken. Photographs. Thank you so much. Let's go with these likes, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you so much, y'all. Appreciate the likes. And if you guys coming in, we're having a Diddy live. Yes, go. Let's go. Thank you. I appreciate those likes. Let's go. And I'll say this. I will say this. Please let this be a lesson to us all. Money isn't everything. Please let that be a lesson to us all when it comes down. Thank you so much. Let's go. For the 52 likes. Shout out. Let this be a lesson. Right? That money isn't everything. And you will always get caught from what you're doing in the dark. What you do in the dark will always come out. And in Diddy's case, I hate to break it to you, Diddy has lawsuits that's been going on. He's been doing things ever since the year of 1991. And as far as the records go, oh, thank you so much for the likes. as far as the records go, you have 130 cell phones that was confiscated during the raid. You have allegedly, according to one of the witnesses that the prosecutor is going to be bringing in May the 5th, during the trial that starts May the 5th, I said that way, has 11 hard drives. 11 hard drives that has video footages and pictures of Diddy doing things, as we say. See, my question is this, and I want to be honest. My question is this. Why didn't Diddy sue this person? Why didn't Diddy sue this person? I'm going to show you the person I'm talking about. The person that wrote this book that you see right here. He wrote this book called, you see the name, I don't want to say the name because I'm not trying to get sued. But he wrote a book called Tell It All. Whose name is that? Oh. Whose name is that? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet the guy that the prosecutors in New York, the federal prosecutors, are going to have take the stand when the trial, the federal trial, okay, of Diddy starts May the 5th. This gentleman right here. And his real name is not Jamal Millwood. That's the name that he used, that he calls his author name. His real name, ladies and gentlemen, is Courtney Burgess. Thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate it. Let's go. Now, the person that is representing him, oh, we got to talk about her. Huh. This is a Diddy live. This is a Diddy live. Yes. The person that's representing Mr. Courtney Burgess, who has allegedly, according to him, he was the one that wrote this book, and he still has not received any royalties from the book he wrote. As a matter of fact, it was put on Amazon under another man's name. Yeah. He is being represented by this attorney. I'm going to show you her. This is the attorney that's quote unquote representing Courtney Burgess. And it's this lady right here. And I'm going to play what she said. I have to play it. What his attorney, what this gentleman's attorney, gotta play it. What this gentleman's attorney said in response to when they asked her what she's going to do if Diddy gets out on bond.
I make sure, and I have God protecting me. I'm not scared. As long as he's behind bars, I will say if he does get out, I am grateful to hear that the judge won't let him come back to Miami. So to that extent, I'm very...
I'm going to play this part again.
No, I keep 2 straps on me. I make sure, and I have God protecting me. I'm not scared. As long as he's behind bars, I will say if he does get out, I am grateful to hear that the judge won't let him come back to...
Notice what she says. She has how many? What she says she carries everywhere she goes. This goes out to anybody that really, that's why I said, if Diddy was so innocent, why hasn't he came for this gentleman as far as a lawsuit goes? Because his attorney, this lady right here, she already said what she carries.
No, I keep 2 straps on me. I make sure, and I...
Notice what she said. See, this is why I said when it comes down to Diddy They have already been walking around not having a care in the world. Why I say that? Because this book right here has already sold, according to Courtney Burgess, allegedly. Okay, and this is why he's hurrying up and get a lawyer right now, which he should have been got a lawyer. The book has already sold over 1 million copies. And so much because of what he said in that book, lawsuit of cease and desist was filed, so much to the point Amazon ended up pulling that book down. And even when they pulled the book down, I want to show this. How much? They put the book up for auction, and one book sold for $5,000. $5,000. See, this is everything that Diddy has in his lap right now, right? Because if that book gets out, okay, if it gets out, thank you for the likes. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I appreciate the likes. And thank you guys for coming in. We're having a Diddy live. I appreciate you guys coming in. Please subscribe to the channel as well as hit a like. And if you would like to support the channel even more, because yes, I'm having issues, technical difficulties today, you can support by donating a super chat or super sticker, or even become a member. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. The likes. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're having a Diddy live because if you guys don't know, we have been in received another set of lawsuits within the matter of less than 5 days. Diddy has had 4 lawsuits. 4 lawsuits. Making sure, 4. And now I'm going back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming back in and coming in. Lynette, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in. Lynette says this stuff is past wicked. Yes, Sarah says. Yes. LeBron said, and yes, there is somebody in the live named LeBron. LeBron said, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Oh, no. No. Not a Diddy party. And Caden, thank you so much for coming in, Caden. Caden says, did he do it? Oh, yes, he did. Caden says, right, girl, preach it. Yes. And thank you so much, Caden, for coming in. I appreciate it. Christy says, when grown men groom young girls, I wouldn't ever blame the girls. Exactly. Because what people have to realize when it comes down to Cassie was only 19 when she signed on to Bad Boy. I think she was 19 years old. Right? People can say what they want to say, but here in America, 19 is not considered an adult. Of legal age, as they say. Because here in America, you're not old enough to even drink alcohol at 19. And thank you guys for coming in. Christy says, if this has gone on nearly 30 years, 1,000 people are guilty of something and 2,000 young people will never be the same. I got to pin it, Christy. I got to pin it. Luke Green says, any Diddy pics? Whoa. No Diddy, pause. Sarah says, greed, gluttony, shall I continue? Vanity. Correct, Sarah. Thank you for the likes. Let's go. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Joy says, I have to leave politics. Blessings, Joy. Thank you so much, Joy, for coming in. I appreciate it. And I want people to understand this. Please hit that like button. Please share, subscribe to the page, to the channel. Also, if you would like to support, you can actually donate a super sticker or support, or even become a membership to the platform if you wish. And Charles says he got the idea of recording people from J. Edgar Hoover. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, that's deep. That is deep. And thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate it so, so much. We have been on for a while now. I thank you guys. I'm just going into the comments right now. And I'm not going to talk about these people. I don't want to do it. This is a Diddy live, but I don't want to be that cruel. That'd be just cruel. That would be cruel. And the person that we're talking about today is Diddy. Okay? This person right here. And thank you guys for coming in. Madeline says he used the money on baby oil. Woo! Woo, Madeline. Hello, Kay Chapman. Welcome back. Kay Chapman says agenda against black leaders. Whoa. Misty, thank you so much, Misty. Misty says the shade of his skin got him out. Misty, yes, when it comes down to Mike Jeffries, this is what some people were trying to figure out. But look, I don't want to say it. You guys are going to say it. Thank you so much, Tracy. What's good? So much for the support, Tracy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tracy. Shout out to Tracy Talks. Yes, if you support the channel, you can support the channel by joining the membership or donating the chat. If you would like, please follow Miss Tracy Talks. Thank you so much. Shout out to Tracy Talks. I appreciate it. Let's go. No, I'm reading. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm reading. Sarah says, I wonder if he gets, whoa. Not that for dessert, Sarah. Wait. Not that for dessert. Junkyard says, Diddy is home now. He is not going anywhere for the next 50 years. And see, this is what I want people to understand. The cases that he has right now, people have to understand. The federal case that he has right now, please understand this. If we understand nothing else, I'm going to show this person what happened to him. This particular person. Everybody remembers what happened to R. Kelly, right? When it comes down to R. Kelly ended up getting in a number of court cases. So this is what I'm saying, what may happen to Diddy. That is why they came for him on a federal level, because I promise you, once he becomes, or if, let me be careful for legal reasons and YouTube guidelines. If he gets found guilty, this person right here, Diddy, if he gets found guilty in a federal case, right, just know it's going to be, quote unquote, other cases on a state level coming for Diddy. Because look what happened to this person. Right? Look at it. Look at what all happened to this person. So what? And I want to throw this. He don't even have as much money as Diddy. So what in the world you think going to happen to Diddy? Right? What do you think is going to happen to Diddy? And see, just like I told you guys, when it comes down to This person, Jay-Z, that's why he said, I gotta hurry up and buckle up. Because I don't want to be no part of this mess. And that's why, like I said, he already did the lawsuit last month. He's already released a statement letting these people know off the rip, you're not getting run, in his word, you're not getting one red penny out of me. And due to this lawsuit that was filed against me as one of with Diddy on Sunday, I had to sit down and talk to my entire family and children about this. My kids about this mess. And thank you for the likes. Let's go. I appreciate it. Colada says, no diss. Thank you. You are bringing awareness, but I saw one comment disappear because it was a distraction. Please let free speech. Yes, let free speech, even if they disagree. Yes, I appreciate that so much. And I'm going to pin that. Absolutely right. Thank you so much, Colado. Thank you so much. And people have to realize, this is a place that we welcome all opinion, but please be respectful. On the same note, please be respectful. And Joy concurs. All opinions are welcome as long as it is respectful. Yes. Junkyard says he already got caught. Courtney Burgess wrote the book. It's fake. Him and his lawyer have disappeared. Oh, no, not disappeared. HH says, I'm back. Welcome back, HH. Let's go. Junkyard says the other guy who helped Courtney Burgess rewrite the book, Chris Todd, is trying to get the book back. Whoa. It's being held. They fabricated the book to make money. Amazon is holding the book sales. And I'm glad you wrote that, Junkyard, because like I stated with that book, right? That book has made allegedly $1 million. $1 million. And to anybody that has it now, remember what I said, somebody put one of the books back up and it sold for $5,000 for one book. This is why Jay-Z said, I don't want to be in any part of this, because I already know they're going to try not only me, but anybody that is so-called affiliated with me. And I want to protect my family and I want to protect my kids. But this person right here, like I said, if he don't win this federal case, get ready for all these other state cases, because if you guys have been keeping up with me in this live, this Diddy live we've had, right? If you guys been keeping up, all these accusers, they're coming from different states. They're coming from different states. We have to take that into perspective. And shout out to Junkyard. I'm gonna pin what you said, Junkyard. Let's go. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like. Please subscribe to the channel. In addition, if you would like to support the channel even more, you can also donate a super sticker or a super chat, or even like Tracy Talks. You can become a member to the platform. Thank you so much. Alex Stone says, you're back to yell some more. Yes, I am. I'm very passionate at what I do, because I do feel people have to know that you are not alone. And this be it for men or women. Because just like I stated with this particular gentleman, he received a bond. Right? That dealt with similar matters that Diddy has done, but they were with all men. 15 men to be exact. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Diddy's Judge Arun, mentioned why Diddy is locked up and he's not. He said, because Diddy's attorneys tried to say, well, Mike Jeffries out. Why can't our client get out? So Diddy's Judge Arun said, oh, well, I'm going to tell you why. And thank you guys for the likes. Let's go. He said, I'm going to tell you why Mike Jeffries out and your client is not. Because Mike Jeffries doesn't have any criminal background history. And then on top of that, he says Mike Jeffries is 80 years old. And the cases that Mike Jeffries has against him as far as his 16 count indictment, those incidents with those 15 men occurred between 2008, 2015. That's what the judge said. Look, that's what the judge said. Judge Arun, who's over Diddy's federal court case, he said it's not a black and white thing. It's just Mike Jeffries, 80 years old. He's not a flight risk. He's not a flight risk. His case is not as serious as Diddy's. And he doesn't have a criminal background history like Diddy. That's what Judge Arun said. So I want you guys to, put all that into perspective. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Thank you for the likes. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the comments. Right? Because that is what this platform is made for, to be a voice, to speak up, to speak the uncomfortable. Thank you for the likes. Thank you. I see it. Yes. 61 likes. Let's go. Let's go. Now I'm going to move Jeffrey out of the way. Oh. And also in regards to Mike Jeffries. Right? Also in regards to him. Yes, there is a YouTuber online. I'm not going to say the name, but he is also one of the victims to Mike Jeffries. I'm not going to say his name because he's a very popular YouTuber. But for those who know the YouTuber, I would just say this. I stand by this particular YouTuber. I respect this YouTuber because this YouTuber needs to be a voice. More people need to know that you cannot be treated by somebody who has all this money and get away with it. The person with all this money can get away with it. And yes, Mike Jeffries is 80 years old, but that does not give him the right to do what the allegations in the current indictment that he has says. Just like this huge federal indictment Diddy has. And you know what? I'll say this. How is it Diddy has three counts, right? Right? But Mike Jeffries, he has 16 count indictment against him. But he was given a bond. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna mind my business. Because guess what? I'm gonna be honest. They both need to be locked up. But hey, who am I to say? Who am I to say? Who am I to say? And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to continue to go into the chat. Shout out to Miss Tracy Talks. HHH says, shout out to Tracy. John Carl says, Diddy gone. Bye-bye. John Carl, thank you so much for coming in. Sarah says, as far as I've heard, I also heard they are splitting now because their life is getting hotter. I don't know. Whoa. Tree says, Rick Ross. How in the world did Rick Ross get in this? How in the world did Rick Ross get into the comments in the chat? How? Tree says, says Rick Ross was in high-speed chase by her. Oh, my goodness. And thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to do my shout-outs before I end the live. Shout out to Larry Stevens. Shout out to Leave. Shout out to quote-unquote Graham Fisher. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much for Big Dog. Thank you so much for Tree. Thank you so much for Sarah. Thank you so much for Tracy Talks. Thank you so much for John. Thank you so much for HHH for coming in and staying in. Shout out to Sarah, Alex Stone. Shout out to Junkyard Dog. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Bonnie. Shout out to Google. What a name. What a name, Google. What a name. Not. Shout out to Kay Chapman. Shout out to Misty. Thank you so much, Misty, for coming in. I appreciate you for coming in, Misty. Shout out to Madeline. Shout out to Sir. And shout out to everybody. Shout out to Lynette. Shout out to Art of War. Shout out to I Am Jacob. Shout out to Inner Beauty Blessings. Shout out to HH, like I said before. Shout out to Anthony Anderson. Shout out to Fisher. Shout out to Fishing. Shout out to Darren. Shout out to Narendra, India. Shout out to everybody that's came into this platform for this live we had today. Thank you so much. Shout out to Cha on the Man. Shout out to the Herbal Goddess. Let's go. Shout out to the Herbal Goddess. Thank you for coming in. Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to UGO. Shout out to Anthony Anderson. Shout out to Solori. Shout out to Angel. Where you go, Angel? I gotta give it to you, Angel. Thank you for coming in, Angel. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who came into this live. I appreciate it so much. This was a phenomenon. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much, so much. Larry Stevens. Junkyard says, shout out to Politic Graham. Yes. Yes, Junkyard. Larry Stevens says, all I got to say is the entertainment world is block each other to get to the top. African descent is looking at each other very savory. What I mean by that, if Biggie Small, Tupac, oh boy, here we go. Jonathan says, I want a shout out to Jonathan. Larry Stevens says, would not be Jay-Z, Beyonce, P. Diddy if they did not. Ooh, I can't repeat that. And like I always do, I always end the live with what I say. With positivity. I always use these words of wisdom. Now, here we go. Let's go. If you know, you know. First, always eliminate the if. Focus on the present. Number 2, focus on self and not others. Number 3, say I will learn something new every day. And number 4, tell yourself I will not get upset at what I don't have control of. And last but not least, advocate for yourself and speak up, because if you don't speak up for yourself, who will? And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate the support. I appreciate this phenomenal live that we had. And shout out to those beautiful moms that handled business in the chat. Thank you so much. Junkyard, Herbal Goddess, Joy, Art of War, everybody, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And tomorrow, will I come in? I don't know. Let's see. Will I come in? Please, this live ends. I implore you, if you want, please replay the live or look at some videos. You will support the channel that way, as well as I implore you to check out my page if you're new. If you don't have an hour of time or 2 or 3 hours, you can do 19 seconds or 23 seconds. Yes, I have shorts. There are 19 seconds long, and they are, it is what it is. As you can say, see for yourself. And thank you for coming in. Always remember, always have a peace of mind, and always be in peace. This is Politic Graham, and thank you for the